into the sunrise, leaving the waters we knew so well into the tough trek against the east coast current up to Sydney. We have a nice westerly blowing at 15 knots. Little did we know what would happen when we got to Juroa and it blasted up to 30 knots. We're sailing along so fast that we decided to skip Jippin in Sydney Harbour and go straight to Pittwater. We anchored in a beautiful protected spot called Coaster's Retreat to get out of the wind.
Oh, it's good morning from the Look at You crew. It's probably around about 7 o'clock and the temperature here in Coaster's Retreat, Pittwater, is 6 degrees but feels like 2.
Fun times. So we're going to be heading up to Swansea today. Still a nice little fresh west-southwesterly. So it should be a nice easy trip hopefully. We'll see what the sea's like out here. It might be a little bit high for a little while, but looking forward to it.
Yeah, well this will be our very first sandbar crossing, so we're all prepared for that. And it should take us around about 5 hours from here. We fueled up at Carrell Bay and topped up our water after spending a day and night at Coaster's Retreat, sheltering from a massive southwesterly that blew through.
In your arms I sleep like a baby, come hold me tight. I would give anything to hold you now. In color dreams I see a dark green line. I still remember every sleepless night. But in your arms I sleep like a baby, come.
We bypass Swansea and we head straight to Newcastle. Along the way, we picked up a kite that wrapped itself around our mast, but a pair of scissors soon stopped its game.
Those eyes down by the riverside.
We headed into the port of Newcastle and anchored in a nice spot called Pirates Cove to protect ourselves from a westerly wind that was blowing.
Morning lights breaking, wandering on your skin. But the way I feel is the way I ride.
Sailing up the Hunter River in the year 2021 made me think back to the year 1850 when my great-great-grandfather would have sailed into the Hunter River to go and settle just north of Raymond Terrace at a property called Ringwood. We were entertained by many ships that were passing into the port. It was fun for a while, but it wasn't that fun in the middle of the night. It was time to head off for Port Stephens after having a fun time in Newcastle.
Well, we were underway heading to Port Stephens and we cruised past Shark Island. We only had an overnight stay in Port Stephens as we needed to reprovision and get on our way. Marine Rescue Foster, this is Lookham U on 16.
The vessel calling Marine Rescue Foster in Channel 16. Could you repeat your call sign? Over.
Yes, this is Lookham U, over.
Look and View, could you please change to Channel 19 and repeat your call sign? Over.
It's always good to call into the Marine Rescue because you're able to receive navigational warnings and weather updates. But in this case, because we had to cross a bar, it was important that we had the latest information in regards to this.
We headed up the Hastings River to find a nice place to anchor for the night. As we were passing the caravan park, I had a phone call, and it was from my cousin Graham, who was staying at the caravan park. So we went further up the river, reprovisioned, found a nice place to anchor, called Graham, and we had quite a few beers that night. It was very good.
Our next port of call is Southwest Rocks, and we will have an overnight stay there. But just before we arrived to there, we had a very important live stream video to watch. Our daughter Katie was graduating from uni with a Bachelor of Midwifery.
Yay! Oh my god, doesn't she look beautiful? Oh, there's our girl.
Anne Louise Colston.
Well, we've just arrived into Southwest Rocks and we've just dropped the anchor along this beach, Trial Bay Beach. Looks like it'll give us some nice protection from the southerly.
We sailed into Coffs Harbour, and the anchorage in here is pretty famous for being a little bit rolly, and they didn't let us down. We had to fuel up at the wharf there, and Sue got the evil eye from a big stink boat. It was good fun though, having a bit of a rest, ready to move on to our next port.
We never get bored on these long passages. We're always updating our weather and checking our chart plotter, especially since we had to cross our next bar into Yamba. We weren't surprised to see many other yachties waiting out the weather for the next trip north. Well, we're off again. We're leaving Yamba and we're greeted by a beautiful sunrise. Our next destination is Byron Bay.
So we thought it'd be a good idea to overnight at Byron Bay. The forecast said the swell was coming from the southeast, the wind was coming from the southeast, and we'd be fine. Well, in the middle of the night that all changed, and the wind came from the southwest, the swell came from the east, so we had to up anchor pretty quickly and motor all the way to Southport.
Well, we finally crossed the seaway at Southport into the Broadwater after a tiring overnight sail, but we're very happy to finally be here and head to Boatworks.
While we were waiting for upgrades to be done to our boat, Peter fixed our fuel blockage on our boat. He was very successful with the job and he was very proud. Another job that he had to attend to was fix our electric winch that decided to pack it in. It turned out to be a much larger job and we had to call the professionals in and we had to have a completely new gearbox replaced. Well, it's one thing that we've discovered about being on a boat for any length of time is that you become an electrician, a plumber and a general handyman at everything. On our next episode, we head over to Tangalooma where we visit the wrecks and we go snorkeling. We get caught up in a storm and then we cross the notorious Wide Bay Bar and head over into Gary's Anchorage. Thanks for watching and remember, look 'em you behind.